There's so many women out here, and you only want to focus on one. I don't know how you do that. Couldn't be me. You don't want to go sleep with these people and enjoy your life while you can? You might as well. Go figure yourself out. It's okay if you watch this porn website. Nobody else can see it. And plus, I'm not directly hurting anybody. It's not like I'm physically cheating. Might as well go out with us, man. Come on, let's go to the club. Let's go party. Let's go have fun. Let's go dance with some of these women. Let's go see these women. Let's go drink and live life. You only live once. These are the things that the world will tell you. And if you're not in tune with God, you will fall victim to these things. That's why the Bible tells us to not be conformed to the world. We be transformed. We need our minds to be transformed. But you can't do that if you're still embracing the things of the world. So day number 13. Hopefully, if you had day number 13 at this point, you made a decision on what you want to do. But still, even when it gets to this point, it's still very early on, so it's easy to compromise. I'm sure people watching this, you've been there, but also I've been there where I got to 2 weeks and I thought I was good, and all of a sudden urges hit me and boom. Like I woke up today and urges came from the get-go. And this video is gonna be shorter than normal because I feel kind of like sick right now, but it's came super out of the blue in the afternoon, so I think it could possibly be withdrawals from that stuff, because when I was doing it in the past, I had withdrawals where like I literally couldn't get up. I had headaches. I wanted to throw up and do all of this stuff. So it's real. But even through those, God wants you to trust Him, pray to Him, and ask for His guidance and His support and His comfort. And that's what I'm doing. Praying to God that He can help me get through this day by day, because this is a day by day journey. You can't skip ahead. The only way to get through this is taking it one day at a time, one step at a time. Of course, you want to focus on the goal ahead, which is to be sexually pure. But even when you do that, temptations and things will still always be around. So you gotta keep your guard up, remain humble, and remain focused. But at the same time, it can be a point in time where you can disconnect from this and your brain can be free. You just gotta take it a day at a time. It's hard in the beginning, like how I feel right now is very hard, but I understand what I want. In order to get things you want, you gotta sacrifice other things, and the things I'm sacrificing wasn't things that was good for me anyway. Those were things of the world. So when you die to the world, you gain Christ. Christ is gain. So I'm fine with that. But I actually want to read a verse for today's video. In particular, we're gonna focus on, and it's 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, and it says, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh, and the desires in the eyes, and the desires of the eyes, and pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever." So you have God Himself literally saying, do not love the world or the things in the world. These are worldly things. John is telling us through the Holy Spirit, John is telling us, don't love the things of the world. So why do we keep going back to the things of the world? It's because that's what our flesh is attached to. That's what our sinful nature is attached to. But, when you feed more into the spirit, you get spiritual things. When you feed more into the flesh, you're going to get those fleshly things. So have you actually been doing things to cut off the flesh? Are you actually blocking certain things you don't need to see? Are you actually turning away? Or when you see that woman, you keep looking and keep staring? And that's how even David fell victim. King David fell victim with Bathsheba. If David would have looked at her, looked once, because he just happened to see her. If he looked once and turned away and just kept moving, the downward spiral after that wouldn't happen. but it's the fact that he looked and he manifested on it and he lusted and he brought that onto himself. And that's what we do with a lot of these things. We see things not even intentionally like that. We see, like I do it all the time. I scroll through YouTube, I see something that's not intentional. I may be looking at something, or maybe driving the car, you see a billboard, like, and these things maybe bring urges and flashbacks, but rather than thinking on it, manifesting on it, focusing on it, or when you look at it and you got the chance to look again instead of looking again, actually turning away, we instead want to focus on it, indulge in it because it feels pleasing to us. And we have to learn to build a habit of turning away. And I'm still in the process of that. I think I did a better job today than normal, but sometimes it's tough. But we gotta turn away, or you will you will fall. Um, the eyes is the most important thing. That's why Job made a covenant with his eyes, because he knew how dangerous it was, like how dangerous the eyes are, especially for us men, because we're visual beings. So women are too, but I'm saying men definitely. If we see something nice with a woman, we just not all of a sudden numb to the female anatomy. You know what I'm saying? Like we see it, and it's just like, this look good. But rather than being like, this look good, turn your head up, look at her face, look at her directly, and turn away, turn the other way. You gotta run like Joseph. Stop indulging on this stuff. Um, and it also says, if anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in them. Which one is it? You can't be lukewarm. Jesus said it. You can't be lukewarm. Choose him or the world. Which one you want to do? And the more you invest in this stuff, the more you tilt towards the world, and you become desensitized and sensationalizing all of this stuff. So you got to be really, really careful with that. The desires of the flesh, the desire of the eyes, and pride of life are all things of the world. And that's all things we've struggled with. If you're watching this video, I know I struggle, and I'm 100% sure you struggle with it too. But that's why we go into Christ, to rid ourselves with the things of the world. When we come to him, we're a new creation, but we still will have those urges and different things, especially when you're trying to break out of a habit. Like, I'm happy we on day 13, but that's still super early. It haven't even been 2 weeks yet. Tomorrow will make it 2 weeks. But this takes time. And like I was saying earlier, you may experience withdrawals. You may experience super strong urges, but those first couple of weeks, that first month, you gotta fight. But then after that, I promise you'll see results. You're not just gonna do this and not see results. Like if you make direct changes to not just not looking at this stuff and sexual stuff, but changing your lifestyle. Stop Stop sitting on the TV all day just watching TV and allowing your mind to wander and to roam, and being spiritually lazy. We can't be spiritually lazy. We got to be spiritually strong. We got to prepare ourselves as men. And if you're a woman, you still got to prepare yourself as well. We got to be disciplined. We got to be focused. We got to do all of these things if we want to overcome these addictions and things that's tearing us apart and weighing us down on the inside. And we want that glow on the outside, because we want to be able to display those fruits and different things to other people. We really do. And the world is going to pass away. You sure you want to follow the world? You'll be here for what, 80 to 100 years, whereas you can spend eternity with Christ. It's either one or the other. Which one you gonna choose? If you do the will of God, you abide in him forever, which is why I said we got to be spiritually strong and spiritually strengthen ourselves. We focus on God, and then we won't gravitate towards these things we struggle with. But if we still if we still looking at women and not putting parameters and guards on certain things, then of course you're gonna struggle, and you have to do it. Consistency is the key. You can't do it for one day or 1 week and then just give up and allow that inch, because if you allow that small inch to think it's okay, It opens the door. I've been there. I've been there where I'm like, I'm gonna just look up the name and I'm just gonna look at this picture, but it's not gonna be nude, or I just want to look at her face, and that all it all end up leading back to me relapsing, masturbating, or looking at porn, or lusting for women all night, staying up late, just looking at different women, and all of this stuff. And I'm sure it's been the same for some women out there for men. So, like I said, the world is passing away. So you want to go with a dying world, and you want to fit in with the world, be accepted by the world, or you want to go with God. You go with God, you're going to be shamed and ridiculed by the world, even your family and friends. But you're supposed to love Christ more than anything else. So that ridicule, shame, and all that stuff we'll face is going to be worth it because Christ faced it. So we're going to face it too. So what's your decision? Day 13. Let's keep pushing through.